The Ninth Legion, a story that has drifted like fog through the centuries, tempting us with questions that linger in the cool, misty air of forgotten lands. Imagine this. The year is 120 AD, and the world is as vast and untamed as the winds that sweep across the hills of Britannia. Here, Rome has pushed its borders to their edge, and with it, its most loyal soldiers. The Ninth Legion. Now, these were no ordinary men. They were Rome's finest. Their reputation alone struck fear in the hearts of their enemies, and their victories stretched across the empire. They had fought in Hispania, their sandals treading the dust of Iberian soil as they crushed rebellions under the harsh Spanish sun. They had marched through the dark forests of Germania, unyielding as they cut a path through barbarian tribes who sought to hold them back. These men were hard as iron, tested in battle after battle, carrying Rome's imperial power like a torch. And now they were stationed in Britannia, that wild and rugged land where Rome met its match not just against men, but against nature itself. Britannia was something different. The wind, colder. The skies, darker. The tribes, fierce and unyielding. Here, the mighty Ninth faced not just the enemy, but the land itself, which seemed to rise up in rebellion against them. The people of Britannia, the Caledonians, the Brigantes, these were no simple warriors. They fought with a fire born of ancient traditions, and they knew their land in ways the Romans could never hope to. Every hill, every grove, every hidden valley was a weapon, a sanctuary, a snare. Now you might be wondering, how could an entire legion simply disappear? What could have possibly happened? And why would Rome, in all its glory, allow such a mystery to fester? Some say it was a brutal slaughter, a last stand against the fierce warriors of the north. Imagine it, a thick fog rolling over the landscape as night falls. The Caledonians watching, waiting, biding their time. The Ninth, unaware of the silent threat closing in, marching into a trap set by warriors who knew the land as intimately as a painter knows his canvas. Spears, clubs, arrows, an assault from all directions as the Romans struggled to hold their lines. The sound of shields clashing, the cries of men falling, the drumbeat of chaos echoing through the hills. By dawn, the ground would be littered with broken weapons, the earth itself bearing silent witness to their final moments. Yet, even in death, their courage would have been unmatched. And others, however, now whisper of a different tale. Perhaps it wasn't the enemy they faced, but Rome itself that sealed their fate. Imagine this. You're a soldier sworn to serve the empire, but here, in the wild, distant frontier, Rome feels like a faint memory. The supplies grow scarce, the promised reinforcement delayed. The soldiers, once loyal, grow weary. Rumors spread, discontent stirs. Could it be that the Ninth, in a desperate moment, turned their backs on the empire? A rebellion, not against the Britons, but against Rome herself. But rebellion was a dangerous dance. Rome would not tolerate such defiance. Should whispers of treason reach the ears of the Senate, the consequences would be swift and merciless. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Ninth was not lost to the enemy at all, but was sent on a journey from which they were never meant to return, a campaign so perilous that survival was an impossibility. Their punishment, written in the very ground they marched upon, erased from history, as if they had never existed at all. And so the Ninth Legion fades not in glorious battle, but into the shadowed mists of betrayal and obscurity. Then again there's a third story, one that speaks not of blood or rebellion, but of something far stranger. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Ninth did not vanish here in Britannia at all. What if, in a twist of fate, they were sent far from these shores, dispatched to a distant land on a secret mission? Imagine them leaving behind the cold fields of Britannia for lands far in the east, where new dangers awaited them. They would march perhaps through deserts, across mountains, never to see their homeland again, a journey so perilous, so fraught with hardship, that they would simply disappear. But Rome was always proud. She had a reputation to maintain, a legacy to uphold, and what would Rome do if she knew she had lost her precious ninth? Not in battle, not to an enemy's sword, but to the slow erosion of time and distance. She would cover it up, of course. The Ninth Legion would become a ghost, a story to be forgotten. And so, and there we are, left with only questions, only shadows in the mist. The Ninth Legion, a phantom of history, a reminder that even the mightiest empires cannot control everything, that they too have mysteries, secrets buried deep beneath layers of time. And for Rome, maybe that silence was the greatest victory of all. But the mystery does not end there, my friend. No, it's only just beginning. You see, what makes the story of the Ninth Legion so haunting, so unforgettable, is that with each attempt to solve it, we find ourselves entangled in even deeper riddles, unanswered questions that hang in the air like mist on those wild northern hills. Let us return for a moment to that first theory, the idea that the Ninth faced annihilation at the hands of the Caledonians. The evidence for this is sparse, yet tantalizing. Archaeologists have uncovered fragments of Roman armor, spearheads, bits of pottery, remnants of a legion that may have fought and perhaps perished in the unforgiving north. But where are the bodies? Where is the grand battlefield with thousands of Roman soldiers laying where they fell, armor still clinging to their bones? The truth is, there isn't one. No mass graves, no signs of a final desperate clash, only scattered pieces, silent relics in the soil, offering no answers, only silence. And perhaps that silence itself is the answer, a testament to a loss so great that it cannot be spoken, a loss swallowed by the land itself as if Britannia herself refused to yield her secrets. And what of the second theory, the dark tale of betrayal and rebellion? Now this is a path paved with shadows. Imagine it. Soldiers hardened by years of brutal campaigns, men who once believed in Rome's might, now stationed in a desolate, distant frontier. Their loyalty frays, their spirits wane. These are not fresh recruits, they are veterans, men who have seen and survived horrors. Some say that these warriors grew weary, that they turned on their own in an act of defiance or despair. And perhaps Rome herself knew. Imagine, if you will, the empire's leaders sitting in marble halls, discussing the fate of this lost legion. A whisper here, a rumor there, and then silence. Silence, as Rome washes her hands of the Ninth, consigning them to oblivion, a story too shameful, too dangerous to acknowledge. Their names, their sacrifice, erased from every scroll, every record. Just a whisper, drifting away with the breeze. But then we come to a tale even stranger, one that beckons us toward lands far beyond Britannia, to places where Rome's influence waned and dangers multiplied. Some scholars believe that the Ninth was redeployed to the east. Yes, to defend the fringes of Rome's vast territory, perhaps to face the Parthians or the hostile tribes beyond the Euphrates. Can you imagine it? The Ninth, a ghost legion, marching eastward into deserts and mountains, far from the cold mists of Britannia. The soldiers, weary but resolute, driven by duty into the unknown. And somewhere, in those distant lands, the Ninth could have met its end, quietly, out of sight, far from the empire it once served. If this was their fate, then they would have become a whisper in foreign sands, leaving Britannia's hills as silent as the day they left. Yet there is one final possibility, one that is perhaps the most chilling of all. It can't be that Rome herself chose to erase the Ninth from existence. Yes, Rome, that mighty empire, so proud, so powerful, knew that to acknowledge a defeat, especially one at the hands of barbarians, would damage the empire's image, its iron grip on its people. To lose an entire legion, Such a thing could not be spoken. And so the ninth was simply erased, their names struck from records, their story lost to time. Think of it, Britannia, the eternal city, choosing to forget. The Ninth Legion buried not in soil, but in the silence of the empire that sent them. The Ninth became more than soldiers. They became shadows. Shadows that linger in the minds of historians, echoes that refuse to fade, haunting the pages of history. So here we are, my friends, standing at the edge of a mystery that has stretched across the centuries. The Ninth Legion vanished, lost to time. A puzzle that has eluded generations of scholars, archaeologists, and dreamers. And perhaps that's where they belong, forever wandering in our imaginations, forever marching into the unknown. The Ninth Legion, they remind us that history is not always a neat, ordered tapestry. No, it is full of loose threads, of mysteries, of lives and voices lost to time. And we, here in Echoes of the Past, are honored to walk these shadowed paths, to seek those stories that lie in the silence, the tales the world forgot. So as we leave this mystery behind, let us carry it with us, as a reminder that some stories are not meant to be solved, only remembered. And who knows, maybe one day the Ninth Legion will find their way home, in our minds, in our dreams, and in the echoes of the past. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you seek more forgotten tales, more unsolved mysteries, subscribe to Echoes of the Past, where every story whispers a truth waiting to be heard.